The Honest Thief. In a small town nestled between rolling hills, there lived a man named Raghav who was notorious for his thieving ways. He had been a thief for as long as anyone could remember, slipping into homes unnoticed and disappearing without a trace. Despite his reputation, Raghav had never been caught, and the townspeople had grown weary of his misdeeds. One cold winter night, Raghav found himself in a part of the town he rarely visited. The houses here were modest, the people hardworking but poor. As he wandered the narrow streets, he noticed a small, run-down cottage with a flickering light inside. Curiosity got the better of him, and he decided to see if there was anything worth taking. Carefully, Raghav pried open a window and slipped inside. The cottage was sparsely furnished, with only the bare essentials. As he looked around, he saw an old man sitting by the fire, warming his hands. The man's clothes were threadbare, and he looked frail, but his eyes were bright and kind. Raghav's heart, usually hardened by years of crime, softened as he watched the old man. Something about the scene made him hesitate. He could see that there was nothing of value here, nothing worth stealing. But as he was about to leave, the old man spoke. "Who's there?" the old man asked in a calm, gentle voice. "I may be old, but my ears still work." Raghav froze, realizing he had been caught. But instead of fleeing, he found himself answering. "It's just me, sir. I'm a thief." The old man turned to face him, but instead of anger or fear, there was only warmth in his expression. "A thief, you say? Well, I don't have much for you to take, but if you're hungry, there's some bread by the fire. It's not much, but it's all I have." Raghav was taken aback. No one had ever offered him anything before, especially not after finding out who he was. Hesitantly, he sat down by the fire and accepted the bread. It was simple and stale, but in that moment, it tasted like the most delicious meal he had ever had. As they sat together, the old man began to talk, telling stories of his youth, of the town, and of life's simple joys. Raghav listened, captivated by the man's wisdom and kindness. For the first time in his life, he felt a pang of guilt for the way he had been living. Hours passed, and before Raghav realized it, dawn was breaking. The old man looked at him with a knowing smile. "You know, it's never too late to change. Life is full of second chances, if you're willing to take them." Raghav left the cottage that morning, but something inside him had shifted. He returned to his home and decided to leave his life of crime behind. With the little money he had saved from his ill-gotten gains, he started a small business repairing and selling tools, using the skills he had honed over the years. The townspeople were surprised at the change in Raghav, but slowly, they began to trust him. Over time, his new life brought him more happiness and peace than his old one ever had. He never forgot the old man's kindness, and in turn, he became known in the town not as a thief, but as an honest man who was always willing to lend a helping hand. The old man's cottage remained as it was, but Raghav never saw him again. Yet the lessons he learned that night stayed with him forever, reminding him that even a thief could find redemption through the power of kindness and a change of heart.